The choices that each candidate is making in these final hours about where they are and who they're trying to speak to, what is this telling us about their final stretch strategies?
Well, Gemma, it appears that both of the major candidates have been successful, very successful at energising their own bases. Kamala Harris, reportedly, according to pollsters, has energised the turnout of women more than any candidate in recent times. Of course, more than 70 million Americans have already voted over the last 2 weeks. And so tomorrow will almost be half of the population only. She has energised her base, particularly women. And Donald Trump, likewise, has energised the Republican base. And so both of them now are fighting for those very small number of undecideds through those 7 swing states. And they're going to go right down to the wire. And there's new polling out today. And again, we really don't know who's going to win this election. It is that close. But in the 7 swing states, Donald Trump leads in 4 of them: Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina and Pennsylvania, which is interesting, by 1 percentage point. Kamala Harris leads in 1, Michigan, and 2 of them, Nevada and Wisconsin, are tied. But I stress that the margins are so small, they're actually within the margin of error. And so we can't see them as definitive, but certainly the way they've been seesawing over the last few days, that tiny 1 or 2 percentage points indicates that really we may not know the result of this until next weekend, according to a lot of pollsters.
Tell us about the ad campaigns that you're seeing over there.
Well, the ad campaigns are, I suppose, reflecting the general tone of the 2 candidates. The Trump ads are very much, and they're very much targeted in some of those swing states we've just referred to, not in the broader country so much. But the Trump ads are essentially saying that the country is going really in a really bad direction. It's got the economy's in trouble, whereas the Kamala Harris campaign obviously is drawing on some of the big names. They've had people like Lady Gaga sort of has been enlisted, Taylor Swift and others, some of those celebrities, Oprah Winfrey, are certainly coming in behind Kamala Harris. Now, that may not in fact work. Hillary Clinton, of course, in 2016, they had some big gala events, and the Clintons brought in all of their various networks, and in fact, if anything, it might have alienated middle America. So those ads are sort of very much reflecting Kamala Harris's theme, which is hope, and Donald Trump's theme, which is fear of the future, fear of the enemy within, and I'm the person who can get you out of this dreadful situation.
John, the polls are still so close, as you just outlined. Would we have expected a clearer picture at this point in past elections?
Well, usually, Gemma, there's more of an indication than there is now. The fact that these polls, the national polls, are, almost always sort of 50-50 or 49-48. An interesting thing about these new polls, though, is that it rates the various issues that Americans have put in terms of priority for this election. It's the same group, Emerson Polling. I think it's very interesting because 40% of Americans believe the economy is the #1 issue. Not surprising. It's very similar in Australia. And then 17%, number 2, is immigration. Number 3 is 16%, the threat to democracy. Number 7 is abortion, which of course Kamala Harris has made a big issue at. And I've calculated, I've worked out the percentage of issues that are very strongly in Trump's favour in terms of perceptions, and those in favour of Kamala Harris in her territory. And 61% of the issues worrying Americans are those that Donald Trump is certainly considered strong at, border security, etc. 28% for Kamala Harris. It may not mean too much, but it may be an indication that certainly Donald Trump can't be written off.